Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope that you had a good start to your weekend and that your week went well as well. So I can see you guys already in the live chat room. Hello, thank you for joining me, and let's have a quick shout out to see who's in the house tonight. We have Sue, Gail, Leslie, DJ Dignum, I can't read it, it's too quick. Let's start with Chuck, Totoro Porco, Lucy, Tammy, B, Liz, Debbie, Bernadine, Mia, Mike, Joy, Laugh Out Loud Can, Joe, Lisa, Ro, and yeah, it's gone through the top of the screen again. But thank you guys for joining me, all of you guys, in that live chat room. And I mean, here in the UK, things are cooling down a bit, which is very much welcome. Tonight, I haven't got the air conditioning on. It's just a fan that I've set up to be blowing air above my head. And I thought, if it slips during the live stream, and the tubing, which could definitely happen because I've just used some Velcro tape to hold it up so that it blows the air in my direction. If it does fall down, then if you see me, as if I'm in a wind tunnel, then that's what's happened. But at the moment, it feels like it's just about all right. Yeah, if I sit up tall, I can just about feel it on the top of my head. But yeah, thankfully not 30 degrees or 35 degrees. Or even maybe 28 degrees. I think it's in and around maybe 25, 26, something like that. So yeah, not too bad at all. Right, let's get organised for tonight's live stream and get the names of my patrons up on screen because they make this all possible in the first place. So a massive shout out to you guys. You know who you are, and regular viewers will know that their names go across the bottom of the live stream throughout the streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So yeah, the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say. So yeah, thank you guys. Right. Let's also get up on screen the likes goal for tonight, which is another record attempt. We're going for 555. All the fives is what we're aiming for tonight, and that would indeed be a new record for the channel for any live stream that we've done. That's the highest likes goal ever. So it means that we are looking for every single thumbs up we can get. So if you could do that, would be very much appreciated. And yeah, as you come through the door, leave a thumbs up and we'll see where we end up with that total, which is huge. All the fives, 555. So let me get the like comment up on screen and see where we are at. And 250, that means, oh, that should have been easy to work out. But I'm just questioning my own mathematical ability here. 305, it would have been at 250. Maybe? I'm not sure. I'll go with that, whatever it is. Yeah, 305 is what we needed. Now that it's jumping and we're getting a spike of the likes, I'll just stick with that for the early bit of maths. Getting that out of the way, or math, as I know a lot of you call it in the live chat room. So let's get the donations tab up on screen because, as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And maybe hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment, introducing yourself into the live chat room so that we all get to know each other, and yeah, we get to interact in the live stream. So you don't have to donate, but I know there are people that can't resist. So I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But like I said, yeah, you don't have to donate for anything on the channel. I know that some people say, oh, how much does it cost to do an analysis video or to request an analysis video? And I always say, nothing. Just send me what you want to have looked at and I'll put it on my list of requests. So this is maybe something that, for me, it doesn't really make any difference from one analysis video to another. I just treat them in exactly the same way, and they're objective. So it means that I'm not looking at them with any subjective feelings or anything like that. And that might be something that people have been struggling with, considering the requests that came through. And this, actually, every request that I look at has usually come through quite a long time ago, and then eventually I do get to it. But it was a vocal analysis on Lara Trump, and I tried to say in the title that it wasn't anything political. It's literally just another video, but it seems like some people can't separate an analysis of a voice with who the person is, or who they might be related to, or the fact that who they're related to might be in politics and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was just literally an analysis video. And even if it wasn't anything political, but even if it were, I'm not sure what what the angle would have been, because I'm pointing out pitch correction and it was applied so heavily it was borderline auto-tune. I don't know whether that would be a negative thing, or people might see that as a negative thing. So would it be for one side, but then you say, oh, by featuring her, it's not fair on the people that support the other side. I don't really follow US politics. I don't even really follow UK politics, because I think it's all a bit of a waste of time and it's all corrupt anyway. So let me just skip that advert. Talking of corruption and YouTube putting loads of adverts on my live streams, but yeah, that is now skipped, which is good. But yes, the whole politics thing, it nothing to do with that. And even if it were to do with that, I don't know what message it would be trying to send out. That I mean, there might be people that don't. I mean, it's Lara Trump, so it wasn't anything to do with. I know that it's Donald Trump, who's the who's the guy that the best way to describe it is divides opinion. That's what I think will be safest to say. And then it was Joe Biden. And now it's not Joe Biden anymore, because he gave up or dropped out or something happened. And Kamala Harris is the other one. So I know the names, but yeah, I'm not into it. So yeah, that analysis video last night, like I said, it's just another one on the conveyor belt. We just look at it, see what's going on, move on to the next one. So yeah, I try to keep it as objective in the title and the description, saying, look, it's nothing to do with anything political. But yeah, I think some people struggle to make that differentiation. But when subjective feelings get involved, it's always a dangerous place to be. But anyway, obviously I don't have any subjective opinions about it, because I don't know anything about it. So I'm absolutely fine with doing analysis videos on voices that are requested. So anyway, yeah, moving away from that, I can see there have been donations already. So thank you guys for that. And I'm starting to feel that maybe my prediction's coming true. I'm now feeling a bit of the air on my face, which is actually quite nice. But if it drops any lower, this tubing that I've attached, maybe the Velcro's started to get a little bit loose. If it falls any lower, then yeah, I'll be in a wind tunnel. But anyway, yeah, there have been donations already, so thank you guys for these. And Paul donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, here we grow again. 406,000 subscribers. Let's have fun tonight and spike the likes. All y'all rock. So thank you for that, Paul, and for mentioning that we have now hit 406,000 subscribers on the channel. So thank you guys for subscribing as well and hitting that notification bell, which you will need to do if you want to get notified for all of the videos and the live streams. So 406,000, a crazy number, but we will keep on pushing forward and see where we end up, as I always say. So let's make the people quiet and remove that. Right, it's already 11:15. I don't know where the time goes, but yeah, if you leave a thumbs up as you come through the door. If you aren't coming through the door, if you've got into the live stream a little bit late, yeah, if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be great. Things are rhyming tonight, which is maybe a good sign, or maybe a sign of impending doom with technical gremlins, but it seems to be working at the moment, fingers crossed. I shouldn't have said that. Right, Orlando's donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Orlando. The message is 406,000 plus subscribers. That is ruddy crazy. So thank you for that, Orlando. And Mia has donated 3,500. Oh, I did work out what these were, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it maybe something? I'm going to take a guess and say maybe it was Argentinian somethings, pesos, or I don't know, but I'll have to type that in. You guys can let me know in the live chat room as to what the ARS stands for. But thank you for that, Mia. And the message is, hi Phil, thanks for making me doubt everything that I listen to. Now seriously, thank you for teaching us so much. So thank you for that. And oh, somebody did link me to a guy's channel, and I then realized that he had emailed me. And this is the problem with emails. I get so many of them that, yeah, it takes me a bit of time to get through them. But he had emailed me about my video on Celine Dion and just saying that he found it very interesting. I think he's got maybe around 60 or 70,000 subscribers, but he's, I think, a musician and has a channel that is very much, you know, music based and, you know, talking about, you know, production, music in general, and, you know, pitch correction, auto tune, and, you know, equal temperament, just temperament, all these kinds of things that are a little bit more technical. And I don't tend to get into a lot of that on my channel other than mentioning equal temperament now and again, because people that know about it know that it's a system that is effectively doing away with how sound actually works in order to get every value to be even across all octaves. But anyway, he did a video and it was good because he was referencing my video that I did on Celine Dion, and he was explaining to people, you know, what I was explaining, because obviously my video is in English and he's French and has a French channel. So he was just explaining it to everybody, and it's good that, you know, he was backing up what I was saying. And the other thing, and this reminds me that I don't know whether this will be a troll corner thing or not, but maybe it will be for later on. I'll save it. But yeah, somebody left a comment a couple of days ago, and it's amazing how you can have one person like this guy who has the channel in France, who understands it and he knows, you know, what I'm saying and what I'm explaining, and he knows what we're looking at. But then you've got other people who are actually, and obviously there's no way to prove this in the comments section, but they claim to be professionals. Like this one person who commented, and I'll explain it later on in Troll Corner, but he said straight off that he was an audio engineer, that was his job. And he went on to deny what I was saying in my video. So I was amazed that somebody who is claiming to be an audio engineer, and he said, you know, he works with sound waves all day, every day, so what he's saying is correct. So yeah, I was amazed that if he does work with sound every day, then he would know, or he should know, what I'm pointing out and how impossible it is to match pitch. And I think this is maybe the problem, that people that don't necessarily, I don't know, understand pitch graphs and singing and vocal cords, the way the voice works, and they just look at the screen of sound waves and, you know, waveforms, which are different things, they think that that's related to pitch, but it's not. When you're looking at, a sound wave or a waveform, for example, maybe people have done this. When you record on Logic Pro 10, for example, which is the digital audio workstation that I use, when you record sound, it looks like almost, I don't know, a sausage of sound. Yeah. I'm trying to use explanations or imagery that people might understand. So you've got nothing. When there's 0 decibels, when nothing's happening, you've just got nothing. And you might have a very faint line in the middle just to show you where 0 decibels is. But you've got nothing. And then as soon as a sound comes in, you'll see some spikes. And if that note or any sound is held, it'll be a spike, and then it'll continue to go in terms of what it looks like until the sound stops. So then you've got an image, and like I said, it's like a spiky sausage. But anyway, getting away from that, it means that that is going to look like that regardless of which notes you're singing. If I'm singing a higher note, it doesn't mean that Logic Pro 10 is now going to make this block of sound now go higher up on the page. It still is in the same place. Even when you zoom into it, you start to actually see the waveforms if you go in really close to it. But it doesn't change the way that it's displayed. Whereas what I'm talking about is pitch. So when we're looking at a pitch graph, the pitch changes with the pitch of the voice. And it's plotted obviously against time because it's scrolling. So it means that we're looking at tiny changes in pitch that are impossible to replicate. And I did give him a link to my video on Michael Jackson. And maybe I won't mention this in Picture Corner because I just explained it all. But yeah, giving him that link because people, and again, apparently he's a professional audio engineer, that he doesn't realize that you can't replicate the same thing twice. And hopefully once he's watched that video, he'll understand. But he was arguing, and the problem is it's the nature of the argument, because he was kind of going, duh, if a singer sings the same song at the same tempo with the same melody, of course it's going to look the same. I'm an audio engineer, I've worked with sound, all my life, whatever, and I've studied sound waves and waveforms, and they look the same when somebody performs the same song. So he kind of said all of that. So I then had to explain, you're not understanding what we're looking at. Somebody cannot... Yeah, again, it's trying to explain this to people, even professionals or so-called professionals, that when somebody sings a song, but even like I said with Michael Jackson, 4 words, he was going, "We are the world." And that's all. I was comparing him doing that 6 times. And every time he did it, it sounded like, "We are the world." It sounded the same. But every time he did it, the pitch graph is different because the vocal cords vibrating. There's so much detail in there that even though "we are the world," it sounds the same every time, but every one of what I just did would be different on a pitch graph. But people don't seem to understand it. They think, oh, because it sounded the same, it must be the same. But no, we're getting into extraordinarily more detail than just using our ears, which is the point of the analysis videos, and getting to the bottom of exactly what's happening. And the people that do know what I'm doing, obviously, back it up. But I'm still amazed that some people who are professionals don't understand. But hopefully he's watched that video and then he realizes, oh, yeah, I'll have to look. Maybe he changes the wording of his comment, or maybe he removes it. But once you've seen that video, and lots of my analysis analysis videos, really, if you watch those, then you should understand exactly what's going on and the detail that we're looking at. I mean, it's crazy the amount of detail that we go into, which is the point, because it's got to be conclusive and it's got to be objective. So anyway, let me skip over that. That was kind of a troll corner without actually being a troll corner. But let's get into the donations window again. Orlando's donated. Oh, by the way, Mia, that was Mia's 3rd donation. So thank you for that in the super chat window. And Orlando donated $2 and says, oh, and spike the likes. So thank you for that. Good idea. Hit the thumbs up. We're aiming for a new record of 555 tonight. So we'll see if we can get there or not. 162 is a number that just popped into my head. So that might be the number we need. It might not be. I'll move on quickly. And Sue has donated $19.99. And the message is controversy in the bin. Nothing but appreciation. So thank you for that. That might be, I don't know, that could be related to maybe last night's video or what I was just talking about there. But what I was just talking about there was just a lack of understanding from the person commenting, not realizing that they didn't know what I was talking about, and comparing it to what they look at, which is totally different things. But Orlando donated $5 and says, Jennifer Sun asks, is damage of the larynx a common injury among vocalists? Is it mostly caused by wear and tear? So thank you for that. And I mean, I would say that a damaged larynx is a lot more serious, and I think that this is something that Steven Tyler went through, and that's why they had to cancel Aerosmith's tour and call it a day for live performances, because I think they said it fractured his larynx or something like that. But yeah, I would say that's quite a severe injury requiring surgery. So I don't think that's a common injury. I think that's quite a serious thing. The most common thing that you'll see is nodules on the vocal cords, which is where you get a tiny swelling or a tiny lump on the vocal cord. So what happens is when you're singing, and that's from kind of overuse, straining, and effectively using your vocal cords and putting too much air through them so that they're really dry, and they start, when they're coming together and effectively rubbing against each other, the drier they are, basically the more air you're putting through your vocal cords, especially if, and this is the problem, that you can sing with a light airy sound, such as going ah, like that, and that isn't really going to damage your voice, because maybe if you did that all day every day for years and years and years, it might do, but not to the point where you're going to need surgery or anything like that. What happens is this sound is light. Now if you take that same sound and try and go and try and push the notes higher up but keep the air in the sound, that's where the vocal cords are coming together now with a lot more force, and they are effectively dry. So the contact that you're getting is like almost like a friction that's building up. Whereas when you've got great control of your voice and you use just the right amount of air, it means that your vocal cords are a lot less likely to get really dried out. And this is why when people are belting all the time and have lots of songs that'll be at the top end of their chest voice, it's really, and this is something that Adele had, I think, is really easy to kind of lean into it too much. And maybe some singers might not even know that they're using too much air. And I think probably Adele, with her singing, she might have even had surgery. I don't know. I think that might actually be true. But anyway, once she had that vocal injury, so that she then might have had the surgery or had a very long vocal rest, and then got into training more in terms of trying to hit these high notes with better technique, so that the vocal cords aren't put through as much strain. But anyway, if you imagine that vocal cords rubbing together, you get a nodule, which is just like a little swelling on the vocal cords. And what happens is when vocal cords come together and they're healthy, they go like that. So you get a nice seal effectively. And when you've got a nodule on your vocal cords, one of them, say that the nodule's like here, when they come together it'll go like that. So you've got a gap between your vocal cords. So if you're trying to hit a note but you can't hit that note because there's a slight gap, you might tend to push even harder, like use your neck muscles to clamp in that seal, so that the vocal cord, you're now trying to push that nodule in even more, so you're straining even more, and that'll cause more friction on the nodule. So this is it, that some people, when they first feel it happening, and they'll realize that, I'm trying to get to a particular part in my range or hit a particular note and it's not how it usually feels, or it's not quite there, or it sounds a bit raspy and I can't get rid of that. And it's just the fact that maybe a nodule is starting to appear, and in the early stages of that, just vocal rest will sort it out. And this is something that Julie Andrews said about her vocal cord injury that she had surgery on. I think, and from what she says, is she regrets having the surgery because she now realises that she might have been able to heal it just by having vocal rest and taking a long time off, because the vocal cords do recover when you get a nodule if you kind of catch it early on. The only problem that Julie had was that she was having to perform night after night after night after night after night. So when you are contract bound to a schedule, it's very difficult to say, look, I'm going to take 6 months off. I'm not doing any more performances because I can feel that I've got something starting to obstruct my vocal cords. I can't quite hit the notes the same way. So yeah, she was in a very difficult situation. But this is it, vocal rest. And some people go into steam rooms, for example, and when I say steam rooms, like almost like a sauna, but you're breathing in steam and it's like breathing in moisture. It's not like standing over a kettle or something like that. You don't want to damage your vocal cords by inhaling really hot air, but breathing in that moisture so that the vocal cords are effectively getting coated in moisture, so they're staying nice and hydrated. And some people do that just when they're resting their voice or trying to recover from nodules and any vocal injury. But anyway, I could talk about this for a very long time, but the actual larynx being injured, I would say that isn't a very common thing, unless people say that and they mean nodules on the vocal cords. And Karen says, I think she said Julie's surgery was botched, apparently. And this is the other problem, that getting as far as surgery, I mean, that's a really big deal. And same thing with Stephen, Steven Tyler, with his voice going as far as needing surgery. And it was obviously something that it needed doing. It was kind of that or bust. And it just so happens that unfortunately, it didn't work out and he couldn't recover from the surgery afterwards. But it must have been a really serious vocal injury when you're talking about kind of fracturing the larynx. But getting back to nodules on the vocal cords, and if you are having surgery to remove a nodule, vocal cords are really delicate things, and this is the problem, and this is why you can damage them so easily, because they're so delicate in the way that they operate. And unfortunately, if you're operating on them and something goes ever so slightly wrong, then you can imagine that if you get scar tissue or anything, it's going to be a slight swelling, and the slight swelling is effectively the same as having a nodule in there. So it might be now that kind of the top part of the vocal cord now comes away, whereas before it was kind of in the middle there. So now that top part's coming away, or even kind of the bottom part down there. So when you're talking about now trying to hit these notes, and this is why I think with Julie, her voice, when she then came back to training and tried to learn to sing effectively from scratch all over again, because there would be a part of her vocal cords where there might be inflammation or it might be damaged from surgery. So when she goes to that particular place, and it might have been higher up in her range from what I've heard of her sing after the surgery, it just isn't accessible anymore, because where the air's going through, if you imagine your vocal cords are like your lips when you're whistling, so there's a tiny little kind of gap and they're vibrating, but air is flowing through them. So when the air flows through, imagine trying to whistle, but trying to now whistle by putting your little finger in your mouth. Because you've changed the size, it's now going to be a lot more difficult. You can't find, I'm not even going to attempt to do that. You can do that and tell me if it's possible or not. But once you're changing what your brain understands as how to make that particular note or that sound, when you change the technique and put an obstruction in the way, then your body goes, oh, I haven't learned to do it this way, so how do I do this? And sometimes it's just a physical impossibility to get that same vibration, the same amount of air through the same space when it's being obstructed by an injury or inflammation or a nodule. So it's yeah, a real shame when surgery is, I would say it has to be the last resort, but then, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But if you catch it early on, then it's just a case usually of just having vocal rest and being really careful and maybe working at technique a little bit more. But anyway, long answer to that question, but thank you for that, Jennifer and Orlando. Vicky's donated $5 as well, so thank you for that. Vicky, and the message is, hi Phil, do you have to change anything on your cover songs so it is not copyrighted? Love your live streams, keep it up. So thank you for that, Vicky. And well, my cover videos do get copyright claims, so and I don't really mind that, because that is how it does work. Is that if you cover somebody else's song and you make any ad revenue from it, then the person who owns that song then can decide whether they want to take all the ad revenue, whether they want to share the ad revenue with the person who's done the cover video. Now, something that is happening on YouTube, and look out for this video tomorrow night, because you're not going to believe what is happening on YouTube. Yeah, you're going to have to watch this video that I'm going to release tomorrow night. But what is starting to happen, and I've told Scott about this, and he's looked into, and Scott's a lawyer on YouTube that I have relatively regular communications with. Anything that comes up from a copyright perspective, yeah, he's always interested in, because yeah, he looked at my videos and said that I should be disputing the copyright on all of my videos, because they are fair use, and I am within the law. I can do what I'm doing because I'm analysing, I'm transforming what I'm looking at. So generally, you know, 99% of the videos get copyright claimed, and I've just never disputed them, just accepted, well, that's just how it works. But yeah, Scott has said to make sure that I do dispute them all. So yeah, over the last kind of few weeks I've started doing that. But with YouTube, when you play a cover of somebody's song, the person who owns that song will then place, and yeah, this is the other thing, that my videos are very easy to spot, because I say, you know, Parisian Walkways, Wings of Pegasus cover. So the algorithm has the song title in the title. So it means that it can find the copyright owner very easily, because, you know, it'll go Parisian Walkways, Gary Moore, and it'll find the record label, whoever owns the copyright, and then it'll be copyright claimed by that. But obviously other people don't put the titles in their, or the title of the song in the titles of their video. So it can be more difficult for YouTube to spot. But what's happening now, you're not going to believe this, people are registering their covers as original works. So it would be like me doing Parisian Walkways, registering that audio as Parisian Walkways by Wings of Pegasus. And this is the other thing, that there are so many songs, well, there are only so many titles to songs that you can have, because there will be another song that has the same title. So I could say Parisian Walkways by Wings of Pegasus. Now, when somebody else does a cover of Gary Moore's Parisian Walkways, it could, and it might now get claimed by, if I had done this, it might get claimed by Wings of Pegasus, Parisian Walkways, because I've registered that song and therefore that melody as mine. I wrote it, I own it. People are doing this on YouTube, so look out for this video tomorrow night, because yeah, there are so many frauds going on that, yeah, I just scratched the surface, you know, in just what I'm saying here. But yeah, you'll have to check out that video tomorrow night, because there are so many levels to potential fraud that are going on, and I'll make sure that Scott gets a copy of the video that I'm going to release tomorrow night, and all of the channels and these people that, even really well-known cover artists, I say cover artists, but people that might have millions of subscribers, this is something I mentioned to Scott as well. I could just be talking about this for the whole live stream, but the people that have millions of subscribers, when they do a cover video, even they are registering the cover song as their song. And I mentioned this about the Ali Sherlock video that I looked at. She did a song by Avril Lavigne called Complicated, and the ad revenue for Ali Sherlock's cover is going to Ali Sherlock for her song called Complicated. but it's not her song. But she's registered it as her song. So when I looked into that, it was Studio 71 that have registered that as an original work by Ali Sherlock. So she's using them, that third-party company, to claim the copyright on a song that she doesn't own, but she's now saying she does own, or at least the company's saying that that's her song. So she gets the ad revenue. So theoretically, if anybody else now wants to cover Complicated by Avril Lavigne, Ali Sherlock can take the ad revenue from that because it's registered as her melody. So anyway, Studio 71, I did pass that over to Scott, and he looked into the company and he said it looks really dodgy, and he actually said that where they say they have their offices is, I think, in the same business park in maybe California, somewhere like that, where his legal places, or his legal company, wherever they do their legal work, I don't even know what it's called, but it's in the same business park. So he said that the next time he's there, he can go and look up the address and try and find Studio 71 to see if it actually does exist, or whether it is indeed a scam that is claiming original, or at least cover songs as original works for artists. And again, yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I said to Scott that as a musician, you should know the law. I know that I can't go and claim Parisian Walkways by Gary Moore as Parisian Walkways by Wings of Pegasus and then make money from other people who are covering Gary Moore and say, oh no, that's my song. And sometimes, if somebody does a very popular cover video, it can get millions of views. So I would be making millions of views worth of ad revenue for claiming that that's my original work. And I think musicians, they should know it's against the law. If they don't know it's against the law, then they're not really musicians. Because imagine if they wrote a song and then somebody else did a cover of their song and now claimed that it was their song. Where does that end? You know, because they think, well, no, that's not fair. So they know how it works. So I don't understand how they think it's fair to then claim somebody else's song. What you can do is you can claim the rights to the images, because the moving image, that's you own yourself, that's fine. But if you are playing a song and people are hearing that song, you don't own that, you didn't write that melody, so you cannot register it as an original work and then get ad revenue. This is the problem, that people are making money from it. That's where it's highly illegal, and claiming other people's covers. So anyway, look out for that video tomorrow night, because that is literally going to be the surface, scratching the surface of all the other things going on, but I'll explain them all tomorrow night. So anyway, moving on, because thank you for that, Vicky. There have been donations in the PayPal window, and I will just quickly jump into there. I want to make sure that I don't miss any out. Stu donated £15 and 37 pence. Thank you for that, and that was on Thursday. And this says Phil of Wings, so thank you for that, Steve. And Anthony's donated £7 and 32 pence, so thank you for that, Anthony. And I think this is a request because it's quite a long message. So, oh yes, it starts with my request. So yeah, thank you for that, Anthony. I won't read out the whole thing because it's more of a request email, but that was on Thursday as well. So thank you for that, Anthony. And you don't have to pay for requests, just to let you guys know. And Roderick's donated £3 as well. Thank you for that, Roderick. And that happened on Thursday. And another donation on Thursday came through from Ian. And Ian donated £1. Thank you for that. And it was a straight up donation. And Nicole donated £15. Thank you for that, Nicole. The message is, hello, Phil. A donation for some fruit juice in a hot summer's day. I showed your channel to my Spanish parents, and we salute you all. Good weekend, Phil. Take care, kiss and rock always. So thank you for that. And another one from Nicole, straight after, for £8. And it says, hi, Phil. I see the storm has hit seriously. I hope your city is spared. England undergoes several tests. Yesterday, I was the funeral of a murderer girl in France. We are very shocked, but good luck to everyone for better times. Rock. So thank you for that, Nicole. And with the storms, I haven't been too affected. I think maybe people on the coast, will be a lot more affected. But I'm quite far inland, so it's all right. Well, just outside London, so very far inland. But there was a bit of rain today, a bit of wind, but not too bad at all. And I heard there's another thing that happened in Germany. I think there's been some stabbings or something going on there. And I mentioned on a live stream recently about here in the UK that the person kind of went crazy, just randomly stabbing kids. And then there were riots after that because people then used that situation to then go out and riot and I don't know, try to push their agenda for getting rid of people that come from different countries and immigration and all that stuff, and all got out of hand. But it's nothing to do with that first incident. They're using that as an excuse. But the good thing is now in the UK that all of the people who are rioting, i.e. throwing bricks at police, throwing wheelie bins through like hotel windows and all this kind of stuff, breaking into shops, all of these people, because they've got camera footage of it all, and the police wear the first person camera things so they can identify people, and all of the cases have been fast tracked. So now there have been hundreds of people who've been sentenced to 2 or 3 years in prison, and you can't deny it when it's on video, and they've actually got video of somebody throwing a brick at a police officer, and there you go, they're 3 years in jail. And they might have kids, they might have a wife, and now they're going to be away for 3 years. So they've got what they deserve, thankfully. So anyway, thank you, Nicole, for that donation. And Tammy's donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. That is a straight up donation. And Debbie's donated £10. Thank you for that, Debbie. The message is, hi Phil, congrats on 406,000 subscribers. Given the Evan Riley video this week, do you think kids should sing songs that are appropriate for their age? You're awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And I think this is probably more of a parents thing than the kid themselves. I don't think kids necessarily understand, a lot of the kind of deeper lyrical content that might be produced by singers, and that they just copy what they're hearing. So they might not get kind of deeper meanings, and this is why you can have a kid singing a song, and a kid can have an amazing voice, but the kid hasn't really lived through what the lyrics of the song are maybe describing. So as for singing songs that are appropriate, I think that's probably the parents that would say, well, no, you can't sing that song, because especially nowadays with the R&B artists and the kind of lyrics that definitely wouldn't have been around 40, 50 years ago. They would have been banned, let alone just not been played on radio, for example. So this is it, and that's another kind of fraudulent thing, is people that are using AI to create songs that didn't exist back in the 60s, and they might have really controversial titles, and they're getting the AI to make it sound like a recording in the 60s, and obviously it's an AI voice with the lyrics that the person's put in to be controversial, and they say it's from 1960, they say it's from 1970, but it's just an AI song. And the way that you know that it's AI is because it's only just been uploaded, maybe in the last kind of 5 months, 6 months, or the last year. And it's the kind of title and song that would never have been allowed back then. But they're saying, oh, this was a recording that's really controversial back then. And, I saw a couple of them that got, millions and millions of views, and people saying, oh, I can't believe that this was released, 60 years ago. But they don't realize it's somebody is using AI. So it's another, the fact that, the artist doesn't exist and the song doesn't exist. You can't find any details on it because it didn't exist. It's just AI. So, that's another side of the fraud. And, of course, they'll be taking the ad revenue for that AI song because they don't even need to register it because it's not a song that exists in the first place. But then I suppose somebody else could register that audio as their song and then take the ad revenue from the person that made it in the first place using AI. Oh, it all gets very complicated. But anyway, thank you for that, Debbie. And Kathy's donated £20. Thank you for that, Kathy. And the message is, hi Phil, if you could play only one guitar and one pedal for the rest of your life, what would they be? Kathy, so thank you for that. Quick answer to this, probably, this would be between my Performer Series Strat behind me or my Fender Strat. It'll be between those two, because when I say my Fender Strat, it's not behind me, that's the Performer Series one, but my Fender Strat, which is a 1986 Fender Strat that I've customized in order to have the dual blade pickup on there, the Seymour Duncan. So it means that I've got kind of more distortion, more of an aggressive sound that I can go to. But even the Performer Series guitar behind me, I think it's actually quite good for simulating. It's never going to be exactly the same as a humbucker, but simulating as much as it can do. So yeah, it will certainly be a Fender Strat, and I just use the amp behind me because, you know, technically all of the effects are in the head of the amp. So it means that I can kind of cheat and not have to just use one pedal. It means that I can have distortion, I can have, reverb, I can have delay, I can have lots of different things that are stored in the head, and then I just trigger them with my pedal that is currently attached to the amp, because if we do hit the target for tonight of 555, then we'll bust out the guitar and have Phil Jam number, is it 166 now? I think it is. So that is incorrect. Let me change that to 166. That's what we will be having a little bit later on if we hit that goal. So if you guys can hit the thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. We are 58 likes away, I think, and it's 10 to midnight. We're going to have to really hurry things along. So thank you for that, Kathy. And just quickly, Karen's donated £5.71. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 406,000 subscribers. These past 4.5 years, you've taught me a lot, and taught me a lot musically, and you reminded me that perseverance will prevail. You also brought a place of positivity and laughter. Your recent Shark Talk was a classic. Have you ever seen any of the Jaws films? Thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. Simple answer to that. Yes, I have seen the Jaws movies, and I think I've seen them all. I know that some aren't as good as, well, it's rarely the case that when you get sequels they're as good as the first movie, but I think maybe the second one was alright. But then there's like a third one. Was there a fourth one? So yeah, I've seen maybe all of them, but I think when it starts getting to 3 and 4, if they aren't good movies, then you kind of forget about them. So yeah, I've certainly seen Jaws many times. The second Jaws movie, Jaws 2, which is that its official title, but I've seen that probably a few times because I think that wasn't too bad. But anyway, I've seen lots of other shark movies, by the way, not just Jaws, and it's something like The Reef, or something that's called that, and I think there's another movie that's come out called The Reef, which is more recent, but it isn't the original one that I saw, which is based on a true story. And it's absolutely unbelievable. These people are going out, having a nice time on, I think, just a very small yacht or something like that. Or it might have been just a sailboat, but something where there wasn't a lot of space on there, but they capsized. So then they had to kind of clamber on top of it because now the boat's upside down. And I think one of them tried to make a swim. They said, look, because they're quite far out, they said, look, one of us has got to swim to try and get some help, so I'll go off. So one person swam and got attacked by a shark and killed by a shark. So all the other people see this, and it's not very nice to see. And this is a true story. But then this shark is mental. I mean, it was literally the definition of a mental shark, because it just waited, because it could obviously tell that there were more people. I don't know how many people there were, maybe 4 or 5. And it waited for them to get in the water. And of course they thought, well, we've got to try and get some kind of help. So I think one more person tried to just get to some rocks that were nearby, and they got attacked and killed by this shark. And in the end, one person survived. And obviously that's how the story came out because they had to report that the other people that he was with, it might have been a woman that survived. She had to explain that the people that she was with were all killed by the same shark. So yeah, absolutely crazy that this shark obviously had some problem, because it wasn't, once it attacked one person, it mustn't have been about a hunger thing. It just wanted to kill anything that was in the water, and if it was these humans, then that was it. So there you go. And I think it was called The Reef, but yeah, it's probably not a very nice, like Jaws is okay to watch because you know it's all pretend, whereas that being based on a true story. And then I even looked it up afterwards, and yeah, the person that was consulted on the movie, I don't think they watched the movie, obviously, because they actually went through that, so they didn't want to be reminded about it, but they obviously got the okay to make the movie. But yeah, in a totally different bracket to something like Jaws, this was something that actually happened. But anyway, thank you for that, Karen. That kind of thing just makes it a whole lot more disturbing, and why I say stay out of the sea. That's my top advice. Nobody's ever been attacked by a shark on land, so you can really minimise your risk. So anyway, thank you for that, Karen. And Joe says shh, it's Phil Jam 166, not 165. By the way, not quite 3 years of jams, about 20 months though. Where does the time go? Cheers. So thank you for that, Joe. And for that heads up, Tracy's donated £7.26 as well. Thank you for that, Tracy. The message is, have you watched Beyond Skinwalker Ranch? Keep fighting the good fight, and the hair is looking good. So thank you for that. And yeah, hair's always random. It seems to have, it's a bit curly today with this fringe that just you can push it down and it goes straight back up again. But yeah, I can see, which is always a bonus, and it seems to have organised itself in a kind of fringe type thing tonight. But thank you for this, Tracy. And I have seen Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, but just the first series, I think. I'm waiting for, it takes time to get here from the USA, so the next series of Skinwalker Ranch isn't here yet, and therefore the next series of Beyond Skinwalker Ranch is not here yet either, but I am waiting for it. It will happen at some point. So thank you for that, Tracy. Suzanne has donated £5.08. Thank you for that, Suzanne. The message is quality entertainment. I enjoy your show. Thank you, Phil. So thank you for that, Suzanne, and for watching. And Lynn's donated £54.42. Thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, do you expect the performances from the 40s, 30s, 20s and early will eventually be pitch corrected? I really hope not, but I would have said that about performances from the 70s and the 80s, that I thought, well, what is the point in going back and changing them? But yeah, I don't know. I can't predict what the music industry is going to do, unfortunately, so who knows? But thank you for that, Lynn. Vera's donated £14.51. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, you are going to have to pretend this could happen. If the entire world outlawed all forms of music and took away everyone's instruments and all existing records, CDs, etc., what would you do for the rest of your life? What career would you choose? Vera, so thank you for that. And I would probably choose or do some kind of, if there weren't music as a thing, I would it would make my next job quite interesting, but I would do probably coaching badges for football so that I could be a football coach, maybe a football manager, all that kind of stuff, because being very analytical is something that I notice a lot about, because I used to play football at quite a high level. It means that I know how the games work, and I can spot what teams are doing or what they shouldn't be doing that they are doing in order to improve their results. So it's things that, I analyse, obviously music in a lot of detail, but I analyse football in a lot of detail as well. So yeah, I would do that. If there were no music, I'd kind of get back into football, and I did coaching when I was younger as well, and yeah, did some coaching for Brentford Football Club, who are now in the Premier League, but when I was coaching for them, they were, I think it's either Division 2 or Division 3. So they still had quite a way to go to get into the Premier League. But I could say, well, that was over 20 years ago. So maybe I inspired them. That definitely didn't happen. But yeah, I did a bit of coaching for them. But so anyway, thank you for that, Vera. That's what I would choose if I couldn't do music. I would probably like to play golf. But then again, thinking about that, I quite like the idea of playing golf, but I don't think I like the idea of doing 4 rounds in 4 days, because I think they do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In fact, I know that they do that on the Masters, and they must do that on other, like the US Open and stuff like that. So it's quite a lot of rounds. I think, well, maybe once a week is all right. But then kind of having to practice, and of course I wouldn't be able to do it because of my arm anyway, but practicing every day for multiple hours, I think I'd probably lose interest in it. So just doing it recreationally is fine. But if there were something like football, because I did it a lot when I was younger, I know that I can do that, all day, and that I do find it interesting, especially kind of from a coaching perspective. But thank you for that, Vera. Right, we've got to get into this. It's now midnight. We've got to get into this cover video, which is Behind Blue Eyes. So we'll jump into this quickly, and we need 12 more people to hit the thumbs up. So if you could do that, would be very much appreciated. Then we'll get into the donations in the super chat window. I have seen those, don't worry, I will address them. And it's just Catherine that has donated $9.99. So thank you for that. It's just an extra one in the super chat window. And it's just a straight up donation, and it's Catherine's first donation in the super chat window. So thank you for that. Right, let's jump into this cover of Behind Blue Eyes, my version, obviously, of the Who classic. That's why it's a cover. And no, I haven't registered this as my own original work. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours all lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free. Like to
And there we have it. So that was my version of Behind Blue Eyes. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. We are going to be having a Phil Jam because we hit the target. New record for the channel, 555. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. It is very much appreciated. So we've had another donation over on PayPal. So thank you for this. We also have an absolutely packed picture corner that we've got to get into. So yeah, Orlando donated £5 over in the PayPal window. Thank you for that. The message is, I have a good buddy who was in a hair metal band in the 1980s. He gets occasional royalties. He is happy if he gets a $10 check once in a while. But I noticed music he co-wrote and co-produced was being shared on many platforms. He gets zero compensation. I asked him, why don't you get legal advice? He simply said, it's not worth it. Would you agree? So if you co-wrote something, then the ad revenue on YouTube, if you're talking about YouTube, but just in general, radio airplay, use on TV, films as well, like movies, you would get it split with the other songwriter. If there were just two people, if there were three, it gets split three ways. So yeah, if there's a song that he's co-written, then I would say, yeah, you can look into getting some legal advice, unless he's specifically said in the past to the other writer that they can maintain and keep the rights themselves, and yeah, do that and just be independent as a songwriter. So yeah, that if he definitely didn't do that, if he doesn't have any record of him effectively either verbally agreeing or signing over the rights to that person or any other songwriter, then yeah, he could get legal advice. And it's probably, if something's even getting moderate, airplay or getting featured over the internet, it's just extra royalties. So, you might as well get legal advice about it. So, yeah, that's what I would say. If I were seeing a song that I had written on the internet and somebody else is getting the ad revenue for it, then, yeah, I would, well, I own all the publishing to my songs. But just in case somebody else wrote a song that was my song, then yeah, I would definitely pick them up on that and say, look, you can't do that. But if somebody else had a song that I'd written, or maybe I'd co-written with them, and they were not allowing me to be one of the writers, then yeah. I mean, this is the problem with bands in general and songwriting. And you could be in a band and then the drummer could say, oh, I put in that fill, so I'm a songwriter. And then the songwriter will say, yeah, but I didn't put that fill in. That's just something that you did. I wanted it to be something different. And then the keyboard player will say, yeah, but I put in this little bit here. And he said, well, no, that's just a keyboard version of my riff. And then, yeah, this is why bands split up all the time, because it's an absolute nightmare. So, yeah, very difficult. So anyway, and this is, the other thing can be true, that a whole band have written a song, and then this is something that Sharon Osbourne was very good at doing. The whole band write a song, but then it gets registered under one name, so that person gets all of the royalties, even though it was written by 4 or 5 people. So it should be split 4 or 5 ways. But bands don't know the law, and they didn't know the law. So the people that did know the law could make a hell of a lot of money, and they did. So and still do. So anyway, thank you for that, Orlando. And Orlando donated again $2. Thank you for that, and says, I decided to give a second like, though we did it. A thumbs up. So thank you for that. Right, let's get into Picture Corner quickly. Right, so I'm going to try and work my way through these quickly, because we do have a lot for tonight. And first of all, we have Vince, and I'm just going to find the message that goes with this. And it says, couple pics from a gig Thursday, representing Phil with my old style Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. So thank you for that one, Vince, for sending that in. And here we have Lynn with Pluto, and Lynn says, Pluto having a healthy treat, in inverted commas, after his photo shoot. Tip to other horse owners: don't wear the white Wings of Pegasus t-shirt to the barn. So thank you for that. You can see that Pluto has the Wings of Pegasus hat on, and yeah, It doesn't look too bad, the white shirt, but I can understand certainly the problems with having a white shirt and dealing with horses. So thank you for that. Then we have Chipper here, that's been sent in by Karen. Thank you for this. And this says, I just took this photo of Chipper with 2 different Wings of Pegasus mugs and a metal guitarist figurine. So thank you for sending that one in. And we've got another one. This is from Steve, and it's obviously some guy with a Pegasus behind him, and it says no comment from Steve, but that isn't Steve saying no comment. This is just Laura telling me that there's no comment that goes with this. Thank you for that, Steve. And we have Joe, who has sent this in. Again, this hasn't got a comment with it, but yes, it's self-explanatory. It's me, allegedly, with a guitar. And yeah, this is, I think, the other version that Da Vinci did. I think this is a Da Vinci thing. And he did one version that everybody knows, but then he did one with a guitar. He didn't. I'm making it up. So thank you for that, Joe. Angela. Right, now this is something that's happened. People have been coming up with Phil's Jam. Obviously to do with Phil Jams at the end of the live streams. So let me try and find the message with this. This is Angela's Phil Jam. Or Phil's Jam. So thank you for sending that in. Karen's done her Phil's Jam as well, which looks like that. And then we have Yarn's Jam. Oh no, this is Yarn's Phil Jam, not Phil's Jam. So thank you for that, Yarn. And last but not least, we have Laura's Jam, or should I say Phil's Jam by Laura. And thank you, Laura, for linking me to these pictures, and for you guys uploading them to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. If you're a Facebook user, that's where these pictures have come from. So yeah, a very busy picture corner for tonight. So let's get back to here. And right, it's 12 minutes past. So how long is this? 5 minutes 38. So that's on. Zoom out. Mic on. Click on track. Grab. Guitar. Oh, did I just click on the right thing? I don't know if I clicked on the right thing or not. But this is sad rock / metal ballad backing track. I'm not sure whether I clicked on the right thing, so I'm going to go back just to check. Yes, it is. Okay, I did click on it. So this is sad rock / metal ballad backing track in B minor, BT 264, which means backing track, and not beat tempo or anything like that. N and M creation. That's where this is coming from. That's just an N and M together. And then creation, as you would expect, on YouTube. So let me skip this advert. And, oh, it started. So let me know if you can hear this. Oh, skip this advert. We've got the gem out. And these strings are going to break at some point, I know it. Seems like the levels are alright. Can't hear it too well, but I'll give it a go. One last time it says. I've run out of space on my guitar! Oh! Oh, it's fading out! I thought it was going to end. Oh, what's happening? Oh, stop! Where's my mouse gone? Stop! Okay, we did it. I thought an advert was going to interrupt everything, but I just about got away with it. Right, it faded out. I thought it finished, but it was still obviously going on. Right, there we go. That was Phil Jam number 166. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we had a Phil Jam. I don't know why, it was a little bit kind of difficult for me to hear it, but right at the end, literally used every fret on my guitar. And yeah, it's I don't know why it's difficult to hear the track and then it's difficult to hear the guitar, but hopefully we got away with it. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and for ensuring that we had another Phil Jam for tonight, and Joe for sending me the link to that particular backing track. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night. Look out for that one, because yeah, I'm going to be uncovering lots of unsavory things going on and illegal things going on YouTube. So yeah, have a look out for that video tomorrow night. 8 PM is when I always aim to release my videos, and they come out on a Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. But I'm going to be live streaming again on Tuesday night, of course, 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. That's where I will be. If you could join me, that would be very much appreciated. But I think there's another donation that's come in from Orlando for $5. Thank you for that. The message is, did you close tonight's cover song poll? It still comes up on my chat. So no, I didn't, but there we go. It was still Behind Blue Eyes that was winning. So it was the official choice for tonight's cover video, but thanks for that heads up. Right, we are going to be calling things to a close now, so all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!